with Kathy Baxter. Ay, 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 ay. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming live from Sun City in Arizona, where it has been a very hot day today. But that's the last of our hot days. We start going on the slide. And I think it's like Wednesday, we actually get to I don't know if I can believe this, 86 degrees. Oh my God. So that's high 30s for those of you in New Zealand. So we're actually dropping out of the 40s instead. But yeah. So how was your Saturday? Was it super fantastic and sparkling? Mine was just like, I realized what the time was, started going, and I was looking up what I typed in this morning so I could remember what I was talking about. And noticed that there was a new video on Zeffie's Great Adventures. Kathy Baxter, what the hell am I going to do with you, girl? But Kathy just posted this incredible video of Zeffie. I'm not sure if it's going to work this way. I have no idea how to share screen on here, so I can't share the screen to play it. So I'm going to play it from my phone and we'll see if it works. But hang on.
So today, my mom took off in the car, Bluebird, without me. She just left me alone in the trailer, the RV, and she said she put the TV on for me, and it was on, but then I saw her go and hide some treats as if it was Easter eggs or something, and I knew where the treats were, but I didn't want to tell her that I knew, because she would get upset and think that I would have something to do while she was gone, and I don't know why she left without me, but she left me here all by myself. So I just decided to lay down and go to sleep.
I have no idea how she makes these videos. I don't care how she makes these videos. All I know is that she does my friend Kathy does an incredible job of these videos, and I hope that you were able to hear that very well. Because yes, when I leave Zeffie, I put a movie on for her, because my goal is to be back before the end of the movie, preferably before halftime. But some of them are like, I try to get them as close to 2 hours as I can, just in case. And then I hide treats around the RV for her, and she gets so she gets little training treats hidden around, and then I put and she watches me. I know she knows where they are. I know she knows where they are because she watches me put them in. She just lays there on the floor and just watches where I go and what I do, and you can see the little nose going twitch, twitch, twitch. And today she actually laid down by the shower on the shower mat and just watched what I was doing. You wouldn't come any closer, and then I held up one of her bigger chew treats, and so she came over and sort of like sniffed at it and walked away. But as I was walking out the door, I tossed it on the floor for her because it's the last thing I do before. And I told her I'll be back shortly, and I said I got to go get the mail. I'll be back shortly. Explained to her several times about how I can't take her in the car because of the heat. And so I tossed the treat on the floor, and when I left, she was laying on the floor chomping on it. And then got in the car and drove off, got the mail, came back again, and got a lecture. Oh yes, got a lecture from her. And when I went to pet her, she just took off. Like, she'd started doing her zooms up and down the RV. And I just like looked at her, what the heck's going on? And then I sat down to take my shoes off, and she started doing her zooms again. Because when we come back from walks, I sit on the couch, I take my shoes off, and that's when she starts doing her runs up and down the RV, up and down the RV. And I go into the bedroom, the mattress is moved about this far across the bed. The covers are somewhere on the other side of the bed, maybe on the floor on the other side, depending on how much force she has used on takeoffs and landings. It really is takeoffs and landing because she jumps up on the bed and slides. So that was my day today. I got to go and do mail, and then I said I was going to do genealogy all day. I have been sitting down and reviewing my notes for one of the clients that I've got a stonewall on to see if there's something that I have missed. Was there something that maybe I didn't quite research it as well as I could have? So I'm trying to figure out where to go next, and I'm waiting on some chat boards with other genealogists where I have put the question in. This is who I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. How do I find these records? What's my next step to try and find this person or this person? And so they're coming back with some ideas. Some of them I've already said this is what I've already tried. Did get a very interesting email though, because with my DNA testing, I have done Ancestry and I have done 23andMe, but Family Search has a DNA program as well, which goes a lot more in depth than what Ancestry or 23andMe does. So I sent it away the other day. I've got half of it back, which is my ancestral records and everything else, which agrees with everything I already have. But one of the things is that you can join different projects that are going on based on, it could be based on your surnames, it could be based on some of the gene technology stuff that I don't fully understand yet, but I am learning. And so I started, like, you can type in surnames to see if anybody's researching the surnames. So I started going through the thing, found one for DNA in Cornwall, and I have a lot of ancestors from Cornwall. I have got one family that I can trace. He was my great-grandfather was born in Cornwall, and I can trace his line back to 1655. That's the longest one, and they're all in Cornwall. And of course, the question said, and I answered the question exactly as they said it. It said, what is the furthest back you have gotten on your ancestors in Cornwall? So I started answering the questions, and I put, 8th great-grandfather, 7th great-grandfather over here, and 8th great-grandfather here, 5th great-grandfather here, 3rd great-grandfather here, and grandmothers and all that, and made the list. And so this guy, and it goes to the guy who's in charge of the project, and then he got back to me and said, do you have anybody closer than your 3rd great-grandfather, or was his wife also born in Cornwall? And he said, because 3rd great-grandfather, if the 3rd great-grandfather is the closest, it's not close enough for the DNA. And I was like, okay, because I know from Ancestry and 23andMe, I have a lot of Cornish in me. And so I wrote him back a note saying, yeah, here's my great-grandfather, here my second great-grand, what I have on there. I said on my paternal side, there was a two times great-grandfathers. On my maternal side, there was a great-grandfather, and then there was a second great-grandfather married to my second great-grandmother, who were all born in Cornwall. And I said, this is their names. They were born about this time in Cornwall, and at this area in Cornwall, and they are the son or daughter of these people who were born and raised in Cornwall. And if he got through previous answers, he would see that those names go back quite a way in the research. And so he comes back and he says, and he says, and you're New Zealand. His reply was hilarious. It's just like, wait, what? But his reply came back. Oh my gosh. His reply came back and says, okay, if you're from New Zealand, not a problem. Oh my gosh, if I turned around and said I was American, would that have been, I'm like thinking that I'm from New Zealand, so it's not a problem. But he said, I looked to be about 3/16 Cornish, and said, welcome. So I thought, I'm from New Zealand, so it's not a problem. And I'm like, wait, what? Just because I say I have these relatives that came from Cornwall, and I'm in New Zealand, and was born in New Zealand, what relevance does that have on it? I could have been born in the US with the same lineage. And I'm like, that was just weird. It was just a weird comment to say. But I do know that there's a lot of people from Cornwall in England that moved down to New Zealand. So maybe that's what he was thinking about. Those people had immigrated to New Zealand, so he kind of figured out that's where they had gone. Or maybe he has some genealogy chart or something, and he was able to plug these names in or something and see where they ended up. So now I'm into the project on Cornwall. I don't know what the project actually involves at this point in time. I've got to figure out where the link is to go join it. It's like he says you're in the group, but he didn't send me the website to get into the group. But I think I found it, so I'm going to go check that out later. So with my clients so far, the one I've been working on for Jamaica, it's a really cool project. Just getting a lot of stone walls on that one, and I don't think I've ever researched anybody researched a tree before that has given me so many walls, where it's sort of like, okay, how am I going to blast this wall open, climb over it, go through it, around it, under it? Got to figure out a way around this. So calling on all my knowledge that I already know about genealogy research, calling on all the new stuff that I have learned, and oh damn, I don't have it here on the thing. Where did I put that? Oh, it's over there. can't go grab it right now. But what also arrived in the mail today, which was kind of exciting. Hang on, go back there. So I'm into chat rooms talking about how can I get around these, because it would have been easier if certain events had taken place, because it would have provided me with more information, and those events are not taking place. And the person who moved, there was somebody who moved from Jamaica to the US, and I can't find them anywhere on a census. I know roughly the time they came in, so I know what census they should be on. But when I look up, and I thought, well, this is not a common first name. So I look up the first name with the last name that I know of, and or think I know of. And I'm like looking up things going, I don't even see anybody here with that name. All the people that have that front name all have that they were born in the US. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So now I'm having to go through and see what they had down for race, because they would have put either they were white or they were Negro, would have been put on the census at that time. So now I've got to go through and have a look at that, and maybe narrow them down that way to see where in the US that she actually ended up. And yes, I said the N word, but it's written on the census. Sorry, can't get away from that one. So I'm now got to go look through the census reports and see what race they have for these people who will have this first name, and then that will help narrow down the search a lot, and see if I can see if they actually were born in Mississippi or Tennessee or what other southern American states that they have listed there, to see if they're actually born there, if I can find birth certificates for them there, or if I can't find birth certificates, maybe that could be the person I'm looking for. Or maybe they changed their names when they came to the US. So all sorts of fun and games. But yes, there's lots of little things you got to go and look for. Little keywords and little, sometimes it's just a little thread, and you grab hold of it and you've got to pull it very gently so you don't break it. And yeah, so it's going to be fun getting that. So yeah, being able to do genealogy today was just like, and at one point the brain was getting a little fried, so I thought, I'm just going to take a break. And I went in, and Zeffie was curled up on the bed, and so I just curled up next to her. She was on her portion of the bed, so I curled up next to her and was just rubbing her belly, and all four of her paws kind of ended up around my arm, so I couldn't really take my arm anywhere. And she doesn't like me playing with her paws, but she was happy to wrap her paws, her two front paws and her two back paws, around my arm and keep it there. I was like, okay. So I just laid there. I ended up falling asleep, and I woke up when she decided to untangle herself from my arm and get more comfy, or I don't know what. She ended up coming back out here and getting on a bed. I was like, okay, I'll get up. But it's been a really cool, like, relaxation type day. I've just been having fun today, and it's been awesome. So what did you get up to today that was out of your normal Saturday routines? So what did you enjoy today out of your Saturday routines? All I know is that it's hot, and I'm hoping that the dog park is still open, because I want to take a DOG for an RUN in the PARK. But I'm not sure what time they close. They lock it up. Yeah, that's the only thing. I got to go look that up and see if I can figure it out. And then tell your story question today. What was your favorite things to do on a Saturday? And I see that I have tings. What were your favorite things to do on a Saturday? I have to go back and rewrite that one. Oh my goodness. So what were your favorite things to do as you were growing up? Favorite things to do on Saturdays as you were growing up? It doesn't matter what age you were. What was your favorite things to do on Saturdays? That's your question of the day. So I am now out of here. I'm going to take a DOG for a WALK, so she can do her business, and then I'll take it to the PARK, because she will kick up a performance if I put her straight into the CAR. She's watching me, so I have to be careful what I say. Hi, Zeph. She's laying on her bed, watching me. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Where tomorrow, I think, that's what I found out today. We've got a hurricane coming our way. Apparently there's one called Nora in the Pacific that's meant to be making its way up, and it's the remnants of Nora is supposed to hit us around Wednesday. Yes, but the winds are going to be like 6 to 9 miles an hour. And we may get an inch or two of rain. And that's on Wednesday, when we're down to like 8, when they're predicting we'll be down to 86. So, yeah, right now, what's it right now outside? It's 103. Well, that's not bad. It's down to 103. But, yeah, tomorrow, We're meant to be at 107 for Sunday and Monday, then down to 99. 83 we're now down to for Wednesday. Might have to get the sweatshirt out. And then we're into the mid to high 90s for the next couple of weeks. So yay, we're starting to get cooler weather. And like in about let's see, beginning of September, so around mid-September, the campground here will start filling up. We'll get the snowbirds the migration will start arriving. The migration's probably starting about now, depending on how people are getting to Arizona. But around the second week of September, maybe, and basically the first week, 1st of September is when the migration period starts for the snowbirds, and they will hit Arizona around about mid to late September, and then into October. And by about mid-October, so from mid-September to mid-October, that's when the campgrounds are going to start filling up. I don't know about the Canadians, if they're going to be able to get here. I know they've been able to fly in. Some of them have been able to fly in that way instead of bringing down RVs and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see the campground starting to fill up over the next few weeks. So we'll keep you posted on that one. We'll get to meet more people. Yay! And I actually like this part where I am because I've got somebody in the house next to me. And then there's a couple of houses across the road and down like 2 or 3 houses. And there's like about 3 occupied houses down there. There's an occupied house. In fact, the woman in the occupied house across the road over here, that's about 4 houses along. Because the other side of our street is just all park models. So the park model about 4 across the street and 4 along from us. I'm in here one night, and we've gone back from our walk. I had switched into my PJs, so I'm just walking around in my nightshirt, and there's this knock at the door, and I'm like, what the heck? So I kneel on the recliner. I open up the window and the screen there because I've still got the black screen outside, and I've got the light on behind me, so I should be able to see the silhouette at least. And she's like, oh, she says, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, like thinking, who the hell was this? And she turns around, she says, oh, and gave me her name and pointed out where her park model was. She says, I'm always seeing you out walking your dog. She said, I haven't seen you for a few days, so I was just checking to make sure that you were okay because the car hadn't moved. She said, and everything looked like it was just sitting here and nobody was moving or anything else. I said, well, thank you very much for checking up on me. I had no clue who she was. It was the first time I met her, and she was checking up on me to see if everything was okay. And I was like, I like this here. And then I remember one woman I met called Beth. So I was walking Zippy one night, and she asked me if I could reach up and take down an American flag. Oh, Mama's calling. Oh, actually, Mama's texting. It's Mama's nightly text. So she asked me to take the flag down, and she's the one that told me that there are no friends in this resort, that they're all angels. And I'm like, I love that. Love that. So, yes, there's no friends here. They're all angels. I'm just like, that is so awesome. She says, because everybody's so willing to help each other. You see somebody struggling with something, you go over and you offer to help them. See somebody carrying something, you offer to help them. It really is. Everybody watches out for everybody else here. It's amazing. It really is. I'm actually enjoying the community that's here. So be good to get to know some people, especially those that are across the road from me, who haven't been here. But the guy next door, I have no idea which golf cart is his. No idea apart from the vehicle his wife drives, I have no idea which any of the other vehicles around here are actually his. But he's one of these guys that will help look after houses for those that are seasonal because he lives here full time. And so he will go into the houses every now and again, check everything's okay, that if they've got the AC turned on to a certain temperature to help it stop getting too hot inside, he makes sure that's still running, make sure there's no leaks anywhere. And then some of them with cars will actually give them and golf carts will give them keys to keep the cars running and the golf carts running so that they don't get, the batteries don't die on them for sitting for so long. So, he's got like about 4 or 5 houses that he looks after. But anyway, I'm out of here. Going to go WALK, the DOG. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning bright and early for Serenity Sunday. Hey, konera.